John Balmond is somebody that this project wouldn't even have begun without. He is the managing director of Balmond Studios, and he is here with me to talk to me a little bit about this project as a whole. First of all, for people out there who haven't heard of Balmond Studios, talk to me a little bit about it. What was the beginning? What was the inspiration for the inception of it?
Yeah, well, my father's Sri Lankan and he was educated here, he went to Trinity. So I'm half Sri Lankan and I moved here 12 years ago. And a lot of things changed for us when we were awarded the big John Keel Cinnamon Life project, 850 room hotel. And it was very large, very modern, very ambitious. And then through that, I also fell in love with working with local materials here, Iluk, Kajan, working with local contractors in Monorangala, which then created Galoya Lodge, which is 11 chalet boutique place there. And we just fell in love with this national park where you can only go by boat safari and see swimming elephants. Can't go by jeep. Really, and so and then that led to me being commissioned to do the Jetwing Surf project that I designed and really enjoyed doing with Hiran Kure. And then Southbeach is a fusion of this modernity with the local craft, of that's Sri Lankan. So it's designed by Sri Lankan. The furniture's all made here, and we just want to push ahead on this agenda of contemporary Sri Lanka and the expression of the talent that's here.
Oh, that is as beautiful as it gets. You're kind of merging local talent into this international, amazing, modern, contemporary place that I'm sure people out there are going to be super excited to invest and purchase. But apart from that, sir, talk to me a little bit about Weligama. What was the reason for you to choose this location? I mean, a lot of Sri Lankans know that it's an exquisite location. But to everybody out there, talk to me about why Weligama.
It's a big, beautiful sandy bay. It's got a lot of space. And I think it was once the Southern Highway connected places like Weligama. It just, this vibe started to come about. I think Cape Weligama was the first kind of very high-end resort that came there, that really lifted and put it on people's radar. Then, of course, the Marriott came in, and again, it just started pulling in a lot of people. But above all else, it's because it's a surfing destination, it's a cool destination. All these beach bars and clubs are coming about, and we just thought above everything else, it's just really cool to do something there. It's about a beach style, enjoyment, big swimming pool. Just enjoy the vibe.
The vibe is exactly what I wanted to talk to you about, because Weligama is a whole different vibe, and if you've been there, you already know about this. Now, one thing I specifically have come to love about your projects and your designs is the fact that they're so unique. I would say so Sri Lankan, but also so internationally acclaimed as well. And I feel like a lot of people out there would say, oh, is this the new Bava? Talk to me a little bit about that.
Well, great respect for Bava and what he did with tropical architecture in Sri Lanka. It's just so good. I'm not saying Balmond is the next Bava by any means, but
well, I'm sure a lot of people out there are saying that.
Right. We're just following a passion. That's all it is for us. It's about there's so much talent here, and this is kind of contemporary living. It's large spaces, these sliding folding doors, just lovely streamlined furniture. Different kind of a vibe, but it's just a genuine love for what we do, and we just hope there's a handful of people out there that also
I'm sure there's so many people that would appreciate the passion you've put to your work. Thank you so much for doing something like this in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka definitely deserves it. Thank you so much for talking to me as well. It's been a pleasure.
Pleasure. Thank you so much.
We have with us Mr. Udayanga Alves. Now, he was the project manager of Southbeach Weligama, a very crucial, a very important role played. Sir, talk to me about what exactly you did. What was your role? What did you have to overlook?
So basically, our company is the project manager for Southbeach Weligama. Our main role is to control the cost, quality and the time of the project. So in very brief, so I think we have been given the responsibility to do that. At the moment now we are in the verge of starting the work within next month and in March. So So that is our main responsibility, to manage the project to the expectation of the client, and to make it win-win for all.
I think you spoke of three things that I think are of pivotal importance, especially when it comes to a project like this: cost, time, and quality, of course. Talk to me about these three aspects, especially in a time, I was talking to somebody earlier on as well, in an economy that is struggling and in a very turmoil situation. What kind of reassurance can you give everybody out there that you would actually meet expectations of these three standards?
Yeah, it is very tough. I mean, after the COVID, I think very much lot of uncertainties have been occurred. So I mean, we have to use lot of knowledge and experience, and I mean lot of risk management things, and early negotiations and collaborations with people to avoid conflicts during the course of the construction, to avoid any claims or anything, so to manage the cost, and even without compromising the quality. Time is pretty important. So I think, in the press conference, a lot of people have asked about time. So we are very confident on this 8-story building can be completed within the time that we have given. So I think we are taking a lot of effort to complete it within the time. So I think we are pretty much experienced on that. So we can do it. We are confident.
I think that's all people need to hear as well, because that is a factor that kind of deters a lot of people, especially in Sri Lanka, because it's never completed by time. But that is all reassurance that you need. Thank you so much, sir, for talking to me. It's been such a pleasure. We have with us a very special person, a backbone of Southbeach Weligama, none other than Mr. Shiromal Fernando, the Managing Director of a Civil and Structural Engineering Consultant, Sri Lanka. First of all, sir, how are you? Hope you're having an amazing day so far. Talk to me a little bit about Southbeach Weligama. To everybody out there, talk to me a little bit about the engineering aspect of this.
Yeah, the total structure and the mechanical services are designed by our company, and basically we have used all the international standards, especially the European standards, when we are designing the building. And this has foundation as a raft foundation, we call, and then all concrete structure to resist the wind and earthquake and all the tsunamis, and all the latest mechanical equipment has been used for this project.
And I think a big thing that people out there are especially worried about when it comes to the whole engineering aspect of it is that when it's close to the beach, there are a lot of things to consider. One of the big things is obviously rust and everything that concerns with it. Talk to me a little bit about that, because I do know that you followed a specific procedure to ensure that furniture and equipment remain as good as it is on the first day.
With respect to the structural aspects, we have used a special cement called blended cement with fly ash blended cement, where so the structure will last for more than 100 years. And then with respect to the aluminium, it is very good powder coating has been used, and glass, double glazed glass with all proper, it's from Belgium, and then all imported for the exterior works, and others are all treated. If it is steel, it is treated for we call it C5MH, that is very close to the sea. It's the very highest standard, so it will last for a long time.
So I guess that's all reassurance that people need out there, because I feel like one of the biggest concerns is exactly what we spoke of, and now we know that you have followed all of the international standards required, which is absolutely amazing to hear. Final question, sir, sustainability. That is something that the world as a whole is talking about today. Talk to me about the sustainability aspect of it. Was it followed in terms of Southbeach Weligama?
Actually, I'm the Vice President of the Green Building Council of Sri Lanka. Okay. So basically, we have followed the sustainability principles based on the Green SL rating tool, where with respect to water, waste, energy and materials, all has been looked at. So we are planning to get platinum rated for this building.
Oh, that's amazing to hear. Not just for Sri Lanka, but for all the inhabitants or the prospective inhabitants of Southbeach, Weligama. Thank you so much for talking to me, sir. It's been such a pleasure. We have with us two people without whom Southbeach, Weligama wouldn't have been possible. This is none other than Kaushini and Mr. Akila. They were basically involved with the financial aspect of Southbeach, Weligama. They are from NDB Investment Bank. Firstly, talk to me about your role in this whole project. What exactly did you do?
Thank you. So NDB Investment Bank is a fully fledged investment bank, and when it came to this particular project, we were involved from the inception. When I say inception, we were involved from the feasibility to the financial closure to structuring the financing. Akila, would you like to add anything?
Yeah, basically what it involved was in the feasibility study status, we designed the optimum, say, the capital structure when it comes to equity, what percentage of debt should be there, what percentage of pre-sales should be there, and when it comes to the phase after that, so that's financing. So we'll be speaking to the banks to arrange loans for them. So it won't be a single bank in this case, it can be a couple of banks. So after that, like going a step beyond our role, so we'll be basically looking at arranging financing even for the end buyers of these apartments. So it won't be through us, so we won't be financing it, but we will be talking to the banks to arrange the best, basically to get the best deal for them. Overlooking it, yes.
And already some of the banks we're talking to have some fantastic propositions. For instance, if it's an investor looking at buying for the purpose of just using this for an investment, they're willing to finance it so that they only pay the interest until you decide to sell it and then you recover your... I mean, there are so many innovative structures that have come through and packages that we see coming for this sort of a project, being not just a condominium project, it's also related to tourism, and we also see a big value addition from having this project in a country like Sri Lanka now, because there's a lot of foreign revenue generation that we can foresee.
That's exactly what I also want to talk to you about, ma'am, because a project like this, I was also listening that there were a lot of international investors and international buyers that are interested in this project, which definitely means that there is going to be a lot of foreign revenue that is generated, like you just said, right? But talk to me about the risk factor, because that is definitely something that you probably have thought about, especially in a time of such a turmoil economic situation in a country. Talk to me about investors' perspective. I don't know if people would be so sure investing in such a thing, knowing that there's so much turmoil going on, but what is your perspective on this?
Right, so I think to start off with, we are not only focusing on Sri Lankans, as we said, there are foreign investors, and right now the interest has been about 40% foreign and 60% from Sri Lanka, so which is very encouraging. And the risk side of it, when you look at a project of this nature, people have been going through the pandemic, people are just waiting to explore, and by the time the project is completed, we are hoping the pandemic will be over and it will be a resounding success, because this sort of because there's a lot of exclusivity given to investors who come in for these sort of projects, and we are right on the beach, you can't ask for more. I'm sure from an investor's perspective, they don't see too much of a risk, because we expect the price escalations to happen and the property value escalations to happen.
And that has been the case for the past few years as well in Weligama.
Yes.
So I guess that's all that all the buyers and investors need to know about in terms of finance. Thank you so much for talking to me. It's been so enlightening and amazing. Thank you. Have a great day ahead. Thank you.